Hi, I'm Jimmy, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Smurfs' Enchanted Voyage at Kings Island. Finally. In 1972, Kings Island premiered its most expensive attraction to date, the Enchanted Voyage. An elaborate dark ride featuring a plethora of Hanna-Barbera characters in different settings was Kings Island's answer to It's a Small World. And while I unfortunately have no memory of riding this, from the pictures and video, it looks like the visual equivalent of a Pixie Stick IV. Pure, unadulterated, 1970s kid heaven. What I do remember is the ride that came after, as 1983 saw the close of the original Enchanted Voyage ride, only to be reopened a year later featuring the company's newest brand acquisition. The Smurfs, now starring in The Smurfs' Enchanted Voyage. And then 8 years later it closed. The end. Thank you for watching Defunctland. For background/context, please visit defunctland. Yeah, if this were actually one of those Defunctland episodes, it'd be a really short one. In reality, it's fairly difficult to do a real in-depth video about the Smurf ride, since very little video of it actually exists, and its story is kind of a common one. I mean, it's the same old story really as far as theme parks go. The Smurfs were big, so they wedged them into an existing ride. A decade later, not so much, so they replaced it. Pretty cut and dry. But goddamn was it a sweet 8 years. If I could go anywhere, at any time in my life, and experience one thing again, it would probably be the Smurf ride. I just have so many wonderful memories of Kings Island in the 80s. Except the time a goat bit me at the petting zoo and my cousin had to beat the out of it until it eventually let go. I remember these character sippy cups I would always beg my parents to get. They sold them at little kiosks full of ice. I think this is what they look like. I found this via the aid of Google. They came in Fred, Scooby, and Yogi variety. Getting back to the Smurf ride itself, apparently the layout was the same as the previous incarnation, featuring the Smurfs in different vignettes, a summer picnic, a spooky Halloween scene with a giant Gargamel, which terrorized me as a kid, and this kid in this footage as well, apparently. And even a Christmas scene, which would have been really cool to see during their Winterfest when the park would open for a few weeks every December. One of the icons of both versions of the Enchanted Voyage ride is this snail, who would greet you every time you'd enter the ride. There's a lot of interesting online folklore that has popped up about where some of these past used icons have ended up. Some say the snail now resides at Jungle Jim's parking lot, but this is obviously a different snail. But that didn't stop me from getting a picture with it. But as I was going through the ride video footage, I spotted something. That's him! That's our parking lot snail! At least it certainly appears to be. So that's cool, right? The Jungle Jim's parking lot snail used to actually be in the Smurf ride. What a wonderful piece of park history, now being ridden by a man-child in a goddamn parking lot. It's hard to believe, but I actually don't have any video of myself as a kid at Kings Island, and the reason I don't is probably even more unbelievable for some of you. Not everyone had a video camera in their pocket back then. We didn't get one till the late 90s, but, of course, I've got pictures. That's me and Mom sitting on a Smurf bench right in front of the actual ride. You can see the boats lined up behind us. Here's me and Quick Draw McGraw. Also me and Scooby. Both of these pics are right by the entrance, by the fountains. These are the days that costume characters could just roam the theme parks freely, and finding them was really kind of special, much unlike the structured meet and greets at Disney parks nowadays. Here's me and Papa Smurf, but who cares because that Ghostbusters shirt is legit! There's my dad, and that's me sitting on a concrete dino. I think I was crying. I was probably afraid of it. And of course the unforgettable puppet tree in Hanna-Barbera land. The tree opens up to reveal the show taking place inside. The puppets probably scared me, so this is the only time I could stand near this without crying. I cried a lot. Like most things that we grow up with that are unfortunately only temporary, the Enchanted Voyage, as well as its Smurfy predecessor, were a beloved memory of our childhood that has unfortunately come and gone. But it may be interesting to know that there is in fact a 2019 counterpart to the Enchanted Voyage experience. At Motion Gate Dubai Resort, where you can ride the Smurf Studio Tour Dark Ride. Not exactly the same, but those barely moving animatronics and giant Gargamel really hit me right in the feels. Pretty Smurfy, I gotta say.
Hello, welcome to the Enchanted Voyage. I sure hope you enjoy the ride and have a happy day.